Hello there everyone, this is I am Mark III and welcome back to the giant stompy robot simulator. That is, of course, Mechwarrior Online. Yes. And for today's work we have one of my absolute bestest, favoritist, everest, est, and many other positive things end with est chassis of all, the Zeus. Flipping Zeus. Okay, actually, yeah. Um, the purpose of my current run in this is, after all, getting all my heroes fitted out with builds I want to keep on them, so I don't need to go around randomly fitting them out every time. And if you've been with the channel for a while and you've seen my Mechwarrior content for, I think about 3-4 months or so, I think that was the last time this one appeared, then you knew that I have a hero, Zeus, so this machine was going to appear at some point. It's not my favourite. Quite honestly, it really is not. But I think I've got a workable loadout this time. Finally. TM, trademark. Because I've never been quite satisfied with what I've been able to do with this particular chassis. I don't know, it's got a fair few shortcomings on it. It's a fairly low-tech chassis, but it's got some issues, but, you know, it's okay. I just haven't, I think, found a way to properly use it. I think that's probably my biggest issue. Anyway, let us continue. And for this particular walk, we've got the ZEU-6S version. So R is the Resistance Special Edition version. Though, of course, since it's built on the 6S, anything I say here can apply directly to the 6S. So, yep. The ZEU-6S. Ooh. As you can see, it's a special snowflake with lots of lasers and missiles, though it lacks the signature cannons in the arm for this particular type of mech. I will mention that, though, in a few moments. So, foreshadowing for the win. Let's get you into the mech lab. Right, this particular Zeus is built on an endosteel chassis with double heatsinks, though it features the absolutely bog standard and boring standard armor. Because, you know, there was not enough space for anything more fancy and shiny than that. That is absolutely fine, though. It is powered by a light 300 rated engine, which gives it a top speed of 60.8. Decent for an assault mech, but definitely not the best this mech is capable of. The Zeus, by the way, is actually a pretty fast assault mech. Or should I say light assault mech? Light assault mech, yeah, because 80 tons is at the bottom end of the assault mech range. It could take up to a 390, which would give it a top speed of 78.9. I mean, seriously, 78.9? That's heavy mech bordering into medium mech territory, usually. So this thing can sprint like crazy if you accept the penalty of having so much stuff. As a quick note here, by the way, the choice for a light engine was made for weight reasons, but it sacrifices the ability of the Zeus with its central energy point to zombie. So if I lose both side torsos, the mech will die, even if I've still got the ER large laser. If I had a standard engine, that wouldn't be an issue, but I wouldn't have as much weight to throw around in the rest of the design, so that's an alternate side grade there. Downgrade the engine, and you could get a zombie situation. Though this mech, it tends to lose its side torsos more often than not, so trying really hard to zombie this mech is actually pretty tricky. Not recommended. Anyway, moving on. Sorry. Got distracted. Right. To try to keep this mech cool, we have a total of 6 additional heatsinks, mostly in the right torso, and some in the engine. But this only gives it a heat rating of 1.1 because of all the weaponry I've strapped to it. Which of course segues nicely into the weapons section. Yes, we have 3 weapon systems here. We've got, in the left torso, a cluster of 3 large pulse lasers. The Zeus is especially good for its side torsos, because if I switch it to column mode, as you can see, they're all really close together. So if I point these at an enemy, they're going to be hitting almost 90% of the time, 99% of the time, just the same point on the target, so they really cluster the damage together and try to blow out the entire section of an enemy mech. Because, you know, pretty dangerous that, especially its large pulses. I mean, that's a massive 30 damage straight away, and it can fire again inside 3 seconds. So, you know, watch out for that one. Backing it up as a secondary weapon is MRM-30. So, you know, MRM-30, massive burst of dumbfire missiles, splashes damage around a bit, but it's a nice burst, again dealing 30 points of damage. It's just not focused compared to the large lasers. Sorry, large pulse lasers rather, I should say. Because the last weapon system is an ER large laser, to give this mech a bit of long-range versatility. I could have alternatively gone with an ER medium to operate at the same kind of range, but I wanted an ER large because then I could use that to tag enemies at greater distances and ensure that if I have a line of sight, I can generally inflict at least some damage. But that is resting quite comfortably in the center torso. And then finally, as a defensive addition, we've got the AMS up here in the right side torso, along with a ton of ammunition for it. The MRM, by the way, I know I forgot to mention this, has got 2 tons of ammunition, which is worth 20 salvos. A bit light in terms of ammo load compared to my usual stuff, but it does keep it well supplied. The AMS, however, is not well supplied. It's going to run out sooner rather than later. And that is the build overall, actually. Yes. I should mention this, by the way, in the design phase here, so this mech section is going to be slightly longer than usual. I picked the MRM rather than what I call the signature heavy ballistic, because all Zeuses have ballistics in their left arm, except for one variant, I think. Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong, but a signature of the design is that it has ballistics in the arm. And I was tempted to go with a ballistic in the arm, but I went with the missiles over here instead because I don't tend to like builds designed to quote-unquote NASCAR, which means all the weaponry is on one side of the mech. It's great if you poke just that side out around a corner, but if you find yourself fighting in an area where you've got to face the other side out around a corner, then it takes you longer. So, you know, I prefer to have weaponry a bit more spread out than a typical NASCAR build. But if you feel like side grading it, swapping the MRM for something in the other arm, then we've got a few options here. For a straight swap in terms of tonnage, and using a couple of spare slots, we can actually swap the MRM out for a rotary AC5 with 2 tons of ammunition. Kind of tasty, massive direct fire sustaining damage. Maintain that on an enemy and they're going to have a fun time. Or if you want to support the breakthrough potential of the large pulses, you could put in, say, an LBX AC10. It could support that quite happily. And if you go above that, though, we are getting into the territory where you're going to downgrade something, most likely the ER large, to free up a bit of extra tonnage. And then you could go, say, as far as the Ultra AC10s. The AC20 would be a bit much, I think, but you probably go as far as a UAC-10 if you really wanted to. Or you can go for multiple lighter weapons, it's up to you, but there is definitely potential to just swap out the missiles for a purely ballistic additional system instead. I just thought I'd mention it because, you know, options. One thing the Zeus likes to offer is options. It can't really support everything on all hardpoints, so if you go for heavier weapon sets, you tend to find you've got options in a Zeus. It's a very roomy mech, even if the Orion is the one that's got that particular reputation. Anyway, yes, enough waffling on about that. Let us go into the first match. Indeed. Time for walkies.
Good luck with hunting, everyone.
You too.
And to you.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Okay.
Capture and hold the resource point. Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gents.
We've captured resource point.
Oh, we got someone who's not a fan of Canyon Network, it seems. Yes, welcome one and all to Canyon Network, in case that didn't spoil it for you. The game mode is Conquest, and I'm going to follow this Highlander up the hill. Also notice I'm faster than him as well, so yeah. However, the Highlander could use jump jets. I cannot. Ooh, is there something over there? Do I have enhanced zoom on this thing? I do! Awesome! Oh yeah, I think last time I tried this mech, I refitted it as a sniper. It is on... Hello! Yes, I can see you over there. See what I mean about having the ER as an option? Kind of useful.
It's flying to a medium mech, be careful.
Anyway, I should probably go over my long and sordid history with the Zeus a little bit. The main problem I have with the Zeus is a big, boxy target, so it's actually pretty easy to hit. And it doesn't have much armour for its shape and size either, which doesn't help. Hello. Oop, we've got a Black Knight sniper over there. And I mean, look at that. I mean, I got splashed and I'm losing a fair bit of armour already just from a couple of ER larges. This mech does not have good armour.
Disco music.
Target spotted.
I go on and cap Gamma Alpha lads.
Yeah, what's up?
Target acquired.
Kind of wish I had an LRM launcher actually, but I don't want to be here alone.
Target spotted.
Just follow my fellow assault. Oh, we've lost one of our assaults.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
And then go and kill that assault.
But yeah, honestly, you'd think I'd like this mech more because it's kind of, it's not meant to be a front line. It's more like a supporting mech. Leave my missile rack alone, darn it. I've not had a chance to fire those yet. It's more like it's a supporting mech overall. Oh jeez. Yeah, that's an annihilator. Ow!
Warning.
See what I mean about easy to hit? Ow!
Quarter of the resources. Keep it up.
Such a big lumbering target. I've already lost my centre torso of all things. Right, if I'm going to survive this, I need to drop off a cliff. Jump off a cliff! Whee! Now that's something you don't see very often, is it?
And obviously the Kit Fox.
If I'm going to survive, I need to jump off a cliff. The Zeus also, by the way, it's generally well known that its armor is not so great.
Leg but not dead.
So if enemies notice you, they tend to just pump shots into you because you're so easy to hit. That's really what happens most of the time. Flipping Zeus.
Echo. Alpha Lance Echo.
But yeah, my core torso just melted. So that's also a good example of why I said you can't really count on being able to zombie this mech very effectively. My centre armour was just gone in an instant. Even though my side torsos are so big and boxy, they just nailed me head on. So let's see if I can support it. If I can support them, joining my heavy lance, because I'm actually the last assault mech standing. That's only because I disengaged.
Enemy forces have Sigma.
Oh look! The LBX Annihilator immediately went for me as soon as he noticed me. The Zeus is such a bullet magnet, honestly. They just live to shoot at it. Yep, see? Ow. They went straight for the empty ballistic arm. And they're lobbing big numbers of missiles at me as well, just because reasons. Yeah. Mad Cat, I'm going to die to that if I'm not careful. Oh, despite this assault nature, the Zeus is not a brawler. In any sense of the word. Ah! My arm! My precious empty arm! Fine, you want some missiles? Have some missiles. Ah! Okay, someone's flanking me. No. No. Rear armour. My rear armour is being ventilated. Leave me alone, darn it. Oh, it's a locust. Well, that makes sense, actually. Yep, that locust is just picking me apart now. He's noticed I'm vulnerable. And splat. Cord straight out eventually. Only 178 damage done, though. Yeah. That's because I had to relocate, actually. I got heavily damaged really quickly. And then every time they saw me, they just went, ooh, juicy target, let's shoot it. Such is the life of a Zeus pilot. It's well known for being a bit on the squishy side.
New target acquired.
If only I'd been able to slot into my preferred role of supporting fire, then I would have been able to dish out a fair bit of damage. But as soon as I start taking return fire, well, those bagpipes are so loud. Flipping heck. Still, I think we can see where this particular match is going. Oh wow. This guy is really rocking with his AC-20.
Target acquired.
Oh, well, it's a hunchback. Of course it is. Okay, right. I'm going to actually show you the end screen for this one when we get there, just to see how well the Zeus did. Because I know I got some partial kills off that. So, I didn't do much damage, but it'll be interesting to see exactly what I was able to achieve with this.
Heat level critical.
I also see the enemy had at least 2.
Target destroyed. New target acquired.
Can't tell. I think the enemy had like 2 or 3 annihilators, actually. Means they had a tonnage advantage.
Fire cannon ammo depleted.
Anyway, well, nice comeback though. I mean, that was like
Yeah,
3-8.
good scrap.
That was some excellent fighting, you guys. Well done.
All that for a loss. Well done, boys.
Hey, as long as you had fun doing it, that's what counts.
That's what she said.
Command confirming that we have possession of Kappa.
Well played.
Good game. Okay, let's see what our ending screen actually was. Because we actually managed to come back in the fight, but... Oh, yep. Yeah. I only did 178, but I actually got 8 kill assists, so I damaged 2/3 of the enemy over the course of the fight. And I blocked 177 incoming damage with my AMS as well. So, yeah. My damage numbers were a bit on the disappointing side, but I was helping out. Despite the fact that my armor got shredded so fast. Plumbing Zeus. Oh, this is what makes it so difficult for me to be happy with a build on this mech. It just feels so fragile most of the time. Still, not actually did a lot better than the initial number suggested. So, let us roll on to match number 2. Yes, indeed.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Command and ground troops, defend our base and assault the enemies.
Okay, here we go. Welcome back to match number 2. Why am I saying welcome back? Welcome to match number 2. The map is Caustic Valley, so a toxic valley full of acid. And the game mode...
As far as the eye could see.
He sees what? And the game mode is Incursion, by the by. Okay. Right. This is match number 2, so it's time for the talk about the build. And honestly, despite the poor showing last time, I think I'm going to keep this build on the Zeus. Just because it's got a lot of features about it I like. It's flexible, it can deal a lot of damage at mid-range. And it's got the option of a bit of sniping. It's not got good armor, but that's just because it's a Zeus. It's actually maxed out on its armor, and it's still got damage that badly, that quickly. It's just not a very tough mech, honestly. Also notice, by the way, I've adjusted my play approach as well. Last time I buddied up with an assault, that's accepted, quote-unquote, assault doctrine. If you're with an assault, pick another assault, join them, follow them, and work together. Unfortunately, that's for assaults which actually have decent combat potential. The Zeus kind of melts really quick. So really, this Zeus wants to have plenty of meat shields. It wants to be with many, many other mechs that can absorb damage for it, preferably. Is that a... no. Ugh. So yeah, it doesn't do well at all when it's actually under fire. But if left to its own devices, it can be a damage multiplier of assault level proportions. And I mean that because assaults, they tend to not be, well, the general theory is that assaults aren't as hard wearing as heavies, but they make up for it with a lot more DACA.
Target acquired.
So, ooh,
New
enemy
target
assassin.
acquired.
Oh, he's out of range.
Grid Delta 6 is
New
nasty and
target
hot.
acquired.
I better switch to application mode. I'm not sure what I'm seeing. Well, there's not much heat around here actually, so that's good.
New target acquired.
What even is that?
Acquired.
Oh, it's a Warhammer. It's an enemy heavy. Ooh. Oh, I just took a gorse hit in my arm. Unfortunately, I left myself exposed there and didn't pay attention to the shifting battle lines, so that was my fault there. Notice, however, that I'm taking some damage, but not much. The arms on a Zeus are actually really good shields to absorb some incoming side hits. Just don't expect them to do too well the rest of the time. Am I joining my light lance? No, a fellow assault's actually somewhere down there. Oh, hello. Ow. Yeah, and I ate 2 PPCs to my shoulder. Flipping Zeus. It's not... Well, actually that was just a general thing, because the Zeus doesn't actually have high-mounted weapons, so it's got to expose a lot of its upper structure if it wants to... If it wants to really poke around much. And that's that Warhammer again. Ugh, my center torso just took a hit. Maybe I should be trying to knock down the enemy...
Need assistance.
New target acquired. Target destroyed.
Oh! I got a kill! Woo! Admittedly, the enemy's armor had been kind of messed up already, but
Target acquired.
okay, that's
New
just on my
target
just within my pulse laser range. Backing off a little bit. Yes, I see you there. And why am I not backing? Oh, I was trying to reverse into a
Incoming
cliff. Ah! Ow! My poor, precious, extremely flimsy armor. No. Oh, that guy, that panther is. Oh, there goes my left. Oh no, my ballistic arm is gone. And this is exactly why I didn't want to focus everything in the left side of the mech. Otherwise, my left side would be getting absolutely... I'd have just lost a fair chunk of my firepower if I'd lost that. As well as putting my left torso with its pulse laser payload at risk as well. Let's see if I can move in and say hello to the light mech skirmish that's going on over here. Oh, hello.
New target acquired.
I'm sorry, were you using that?
Critical. Heat level critical.
And I overloaded. This is a hot map.
Engage.
Overlord, come on, get up. They're targeting me quite heavily. Oh, yes, I see you there.
Incoming missile. Heat level
And there's an... I think the panther's behind me, actually.
override shut down.
Oh, look, he is.
Warning, incoming missile.
I am in serious trouble. I am alone, and now the light mechs are flanking me. Ow. I think I need to get... a retreat is definitely in order.
Has power.
Heat level critical.
Woo. Run away! Except I have rubbish armor. Ah!
Light
Ow.
torso critical
Needs to disengage.
damage.
Yep, the entire enemy...
Incoming critical. Center torso critical damage.
I'm going to melt. Yep. Nope, they got me before my reactor melted. I was in the middle of them, but look at that. Able to fight without worrying too much about how much damage I was taking there, because I wasn't getting hit that hard for most of it. I did 480. That's much better. Unfortunately, the rest of the mechs around me got taken out,
Heat level
and that left me very exposed.
critical damage.
The Zeus, by itself, exposed, is going to get shredded. Oop. Oh, that poor Arctic cheetah lost his legs. Ooh. But I think that does kind of show off where the mech can shine, honestly, as well as its shortcomings. It's just not very durable, but if it's got support, it can deal a lot of damage quick. Yeah, look at this. They're just picking our mechs apart now. This guy is about to die. He's getting absolutely murdered. The enemy has a bit of a death ball going. Oh, we've only got Pirate's Bane left. And it's a damaged one as well. It's lost its central rear armor. I wonder why he's got an Atlas figurine. Well, this isn't going to end until the enemy finds him, unfortunately.
Go for the cap.
I don't think he's got stealth armor though. They noticed him really quickly. Oh, yep, now he's being chased by enemy lights. Okay. This is going to go well for him. I really do think. Still, it's a Pirate's Bane with a quad medium loadout. Only stock mediums though, not ER versions. Must be for heat build-up.
Radar is out of power.
Then again, Pirate's Bane, you know, really fast. Yep, he's being chased by enemy lights. You can outrun them though. Anyway,
Warning, incoming
I'm just
missile.
going to get the end screen again. I'm just kind of wondering how long it's going to take. Basically, as soon as this guy gets caught up with, he's going to be in serious trouble.
Warning, incoming missile.
Did he get knocked?
New
I don't know.
target acquired.
But yeah, general thoughts on this Zeus.
Warning, incoming
I am going to
missile.
keep it, especially after it's showing here. I was saying that before, but
Damage.
it's kind of shown... I've shown how vulnerable it can be. I've shown how much damage it can dish out, if given half a chance to do so. Really, though, the Zeus is a
New
team
target
player.
acquired.
It needs to be with its allies. By itself, it's very vulnerable. Yeah, they're just trying to hunt down this Pirate's Bane right now. It's the Panther. Will I get an assisted kill? Sorry, not. I think I hit. I hit the assassin a few times as well, didn't I?
Critical damage.
Yep. There goes his...
Center torso. Critical
No, he was in
damage.
reverse. I thought his leg got knocked out, but no, he's almost dead. There he goes. Okay. Let's see how much we actually did in that one. Our damage scale was a lot more impressive than previously. We did 2.5 times more damage. So, what have we got? What have we got? Not very much, actually. I thought I did more than that. 1 killing blow, 1 kill assist, and 1 kill most damage dealt. 480 damage, though. 4 components destroyed. We were working there. We did a lot more, but unfortunately a lot more of our targets, like, we hit the Panther a lot. We hit the Wolfhound a few times. And we also hit the Warhammer. Oh, how did that Warhammer survive? The Warhammer kept going as well. We did a lot of damage to that. So a bunch of the mechs that were actually damaged by my attacks survived it. Still, 480, that is definitely reasonable for an assault. Yeah. Overall, I'm still not a fan of the Zeus, even if I think it's meant to be like a supporting mech, which is my preferred playstyle. I don't particularly like the Zeus itself. It's just too big and squishy. But yeah, I'm going to accept this particular loadout. This has been Iron Mark 3, as the screen goes black. Yes. I do keep rambling on sometimes, don't I? This has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show, and I will catch you all some other time. Yes, indeed. Here comes the Zeus for the final appearance. As soon as it loads. Load for me. It's the end of the video. Come on, load. Blooming thing. Yes. And there's the Zeus. Take a bow. No, don't fall flat on your face. You do that anyway. See you later.